Sagittarius, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your January 2020 shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you are shifting out of in January, the shape you are shifting into, and what that shift looks and feels like along the way. Before I get into cards, the image that came through as I was meditating on your energy was a huge clock in a clock tower up very high, like Big Ben, something like that. Up very, very high. I could see the whole city down below. It was quiet up there, you know? And then all of a sudden, boom, the clock struck. And the sound rang out to alert the whole city. Ding, ding, ding. That it was time. And then I got like a zoomed in approach on you, and you were shaking it off like a dog. You know how when dogs like go through something sort of exciting or a little bit stressful, something that activates their nervous system, and in order to reset, their body sort of involuntarily shivers, you know, they do like a shake all the way down. That's sort of what I saw you do, and just like, oh, shake all the way down. Because it's like the build up to that bing, the ringing out seemed to be really important. And then I heard the rings of Saturn. And I was like, ooh, interesting. Because the clock representing time, which, you know, Saturn in astrology and mythology is the god of time. Kronos, the god of time. Saturn, the passage of time. You know, Saturn comes in as that energy, kind of like time, that is both limitless and yet incredibly limited, you know, reminds us of our own mortality, especially meeting up with Pluto here in January. This conjunction that's been building for months now and will have resounding, ringing out effects for the months to come. And it's happening, you know, right on the heels of the Capricorn Cancer eclipse axis. So there's some major stuff happening here with time and recognizing its role in our own limitations as humans. And it's very existential, this energy, and yet there's something very, very specific that's happening at the stroke of 12 or whatever that was. Something very, it's both like very internal for you because of your nervous system's reaction to that, and something, it's like very collective. It has a collective ripple effect. Let's get into cards. So normally, you know, if you follow my channel, that I like to shuffle along with you and we pull cards together. I pre-pulled cards for these January readings for each one, so that I would have some time to sit with the energy before turning on the camera. We are shifting decades after all, and I would like some time, you know, to listen in on some extra special things coming through. And I got it. I gave it to myself. Okay. First of all, I giggled as I was shuffling. I was shuffling. You know, I got kind of a thick deck, so it takes me a little while to shuffle these cards. And I'm really shuffling. And then all of a sudden, look what pops out. The World. The ruler of the world card is, yes, Saturn. Okay, here we have it. Time itself, the larger existential cycle itself showing up here to commiserate the image that I got in your meditation. And it also was kind of telling me like, okay, stop shuffling, we're ready. Like, yes, we are already in alignment with the energy for Sagittarius. Let's go. So this is your overall energy, the World card. Closing massive cycles, starting entirely new cycles. The energy of time coming in here, which is both infinite and incredibly finite. Coming in to alert you of an entirely new cycle now here. The rules of the past cycles do not apply anymore. Wow, that just came out of nowhere. I felt like I didn't even say that. The rules of the past cycle do not apply, Sagittarius. Cool. Okay, the shape you're shifting out of. King of Swords. The shape you're shifting into in January. Empress. Pretty rad. Here's how I'm seeing this. Going from the air and dropping down to earth. That's the shift. I'm seeing this full moon here, which could be that lunar eclipse on January 10th in Cancer. I'm seeing you up here. I'm seeing this as the clock face of the clock tower that I saw in the meditation. And once it rings, it's like you're up here with that clock tower with this specific message, some sort of specific truth or message or kind of expression that you are wanting to convey to the world. And I think it's the world because the world, but also because the way that when the clock struck, when it was time, the message resounded. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like you're waiting for this message to drop. Notice how the King of Swords in this depiction is floating in the air. You're still, you're shifting out of this state of being where you're still up in the air. And I see this king as like slowly making the descent, floating down, bringing that sort of truth down to earth and coming into full embodiment. Going from floating up in the air to seated on the throne. That is what is happening here, Sagittarius. Seated on your throne of abundance, ready to receive, baby. Ready to receive the fruits of your labor, ready to see your hard work begin to bloom, or whatever the expression of this is. Something's dropping, like you're dropping an album. You're dropping something here. Maybe just like a truth bomb for somebody, you know, like whatever it is. You're dropping something, boop, some bit of expression or truth, boop, into the world, and bam, here it is. And now you're just kind of like waiting to receive the fruits of this effort. That's the shift. What does the shift look like? I love it. You just can't even write this stuff. It's so cool. Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Coins, Virgo energy. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, that's Sagittarius right there. Oh, I just realized I know a Sag musician. Maybe you are dropping an album. That'd be cool. Okay, anyway. Sorry. I just realized that was kind of specific. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Here comes this hand. The hand coming in, which I'm actually seeing it as your hand. It's probably both, right? The hand of Saturn, the hand of Kronos, Father's Time, God, Divine, the Universe, Spirit, whatever, and also your hand, because are we not all one? Coming in here, grabbing the handle of that Wheel of Fortune and turning. Cranking it, creating major change. This is Jupiter. Jupiter is all about expansion. This is a Sagittarius energy, a Jupiterian Sagittarius. You know, Jupiter rules Sag. So here we have this Jupiter Sag energy coming in. again, with this sense of like something larger, existential, some larger existential turning point for you. I mean, check it out. Two big old energies here, Saturn and Jupiter, both in Capricorn, by the way. Coming in, and both of these cards are about cycles. The World is a really big ending of a huge cycle of your life, maybe a 10-year cycle since we're ending a decade. Huge ending of a 10-year cycle and the beginning of something new now, a turning point. This, you know, this is the number 10. 10s are about completion, but for me, since this is sort of the evolution of the major arcana, if the Fool, which actually I saw in your shuffle a bunch, which is interesting. If the Fool is here and the World, you know, the Fool being the first card, the World being the final card, I think of the Wheel of Fortune as being right in the middle. The center, the turning point, the center 180-degree turning point that marks that middle sense of completion and sends you on the next part of your journey. Big old change, Sagittarius. Change is coming your way. And I think it's good. I also love that there's all these circles. We've got the face of the full moon / the face of that clock that I saw. We've got the cycle of this nebula in the World card. We've got the literal wheel, the circle of the wheel here with Jupiter and the Wheel of Fortune. And then look at this. 8 of Coins right in the center of your whole reading here. This is something you've been working on creating. This is something that you have been working on bringing into being, bringing into this world. And here we see you working away in your workshop. Working away, crafting and creating and making this thing, making this album, since I keep, you know, wanting to say it, making this record, making this magazine, making your book, you know, whatever it is in here, you're mass producing it now. You're working hard on it. You are learning as you go also, because this is a card about honing your craft, you know? Learning as you go, being willing to create it as you learn it, which is really this beautiful energy. This is also Sun in Virgo, which is so funny because then you got the Virgo card out next. And the very specific message that I saw with this, which I'm loving as a Virgo. Here you are, people see you working on something very tangible, right? Something you could hold in your hands maybe, or something that is very like easily seen on this earth plane and this earthly reality. But really, Sag, you and I know that behind the scenes, you're doing some seriously spiritual shit. That's what I'm seeing. It's like, yeah, okay. We see the coin that you're working on. We see the like physical representation of this thing that you're working on, but you know, you're doing some heavy hitting work here, Sag. You're doing some deep spiritual conjuring. This is coming from your own devotion to yourself, right? Virgo hermit energy. The devotion to yourself is so strong, as if you've taken up the habit, you know, as if you have taken the veil, as if you are that devoted to this thing. You are spiritually devoted to whatever this is that you are creating in the world. It is that deep. And not everybody's gonna maybe see that at first, but it's like behind the scenes, you know the reason that this is even coming into being has everything to do with you and also nothing to do with you. Again, this like meta interplay that I'm feeling of like the existential presence of Saturn coming in and being like, time is both infinite, it is both so much larger and beyond you, and also so finite, so very much determined by this human existence and this human experience. You are both conjuring higher energies, and higher energies are also working through you to conjure what they are trying to conjure. You know, it's both. You're doing some way higher, bigger magic than many people are going to see based on this, whatever this is that you create. But that's okay. You know it. You know it, and they're going to feel it whether they can see it and understand it or not. And then, yeah, earth, earth, earth. It's like, here we are up in the air in this much larger kind of zoomed out perspective energy in the idea of it as it then drops down to earth and actually manifests. Essentially, Sag, this is manifestation. This is the thing that you've been working so hard on finally manifesting. And you just like getting ready to receive, sitting in your full power, your full earth energy power, getting ready to receive. It's pretty legit. I'm really loving it. Also, it would be remiss if I did not mention the fact that often the Empress is depicted as pregnant. And so there's a sense of giving birth to something. Again, something of your creation, something that you have devoted your everything to gestating for a long time. This has been coming through the Sag readings in my channel for a little while now. Sag Small Story recently in December was really about this. Even the December shift reading, I think. So I'm happy to see that, I think, Sag, you're ready to give birth to some degree. Let's just check the bottom of it. Oh, cool. Love that. Great. Ace of Fire, Ace of Wands, something you're really passionate about. Love to see a fire energy for Sagittarius, you know? Some creative expression, artistic expression that just like is absolutely an extension of your soul flame. It's sexy. What's underneath? Whoa. 3 of Swords in reverse. I wonder if releasing this into the world is like major heart healing for you. Major heart healing from past heartbreaks. Look at all this red. Oh my God. Haha, Temperance. Sag energy. Stop. Yeah, your card. Look at this beautiful redness on the bottom of the deck. Absolutely fire. Full on fire. Your fire is allowed to fully come out and express itself through earth. Through whatever this is that you create. I'm just reminded that in Chinese medicine, in the 5 element theory, and the way each of the elements interact with one another, fire, earth, metal, blah, blah, blah. You can look that up if you're curious, which I know you are. Or maybe you already know. But they say that fire is the mother of earth, which is really interesting. You know, sort of like regulates, gives birth to, gives life to the earth element. Nourishes the earth element. All your creative fire, all your passion, all your boundless puppy energy, Sagittarius, is going into creating this. And it is immensely healing and it is immensely fruitful. And I'm loving it. Okay. It's time, Sag. It's time. Ding! The rings of Saturn. Never thought of the rings of Saturn as the ringing out of time, but now I'm sort of like having a trip. Having a little existential trip over here myself. Thank you very much. Okay, we're getting you a postcard from the liminal space to end this part of your reading. What's the January guidance for Sagittarius here as this creation manifests? Oh, baby, yes. Such a Sag energy. Imagining more. Seeking higher. Okay, what's next? What's next for me? What's more? Like, imagining more is so congruent for me with this abundance mindset. Everything that you imagine coming into fruition. There's some major manifesting, powerful manifesting energy here. You dreamed it and it came to life. You dreamed it and it came into being. This thing that you dreamed, suddenly you're holding it in your hand. Because you dare to imagine more. And that's what's beautiful about you, Sag. Okay. For some reason I wanted to say Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams. Good movie. All right. So we're going to take this into a special extended Sagittarius since we are shifting decades. I'm going to not only clarify what's on the board here in this extended reading and dig deeper, see if we can get a little more specific as to what exactly this shift is about for you, what exactly this thing is that you're bringing into manifestation, and why time seems to be showing up, Saturn seems to be showing up in such a strong presence. We will dive into all of that, but we will also go into a quarterly overview reading for Sagittarius for 2020. So we'll look at the first, second, third, and fourth quarter around the wheel of the year to give you an overview of 2020's energetic guidance for you. This is a little taste of a much larger offering that I have over on my website. It is the Wheel of the Year reading. It's one of my favorite offerings. It's so juicy and so in-depth and really, really fun. So if you enjoy that taste in the extended reading and you want to get the full real deal, all the links for that are in the description box below to take you over to my website, unseenhandshealing.com. Very easy, okay? So Sag, if you're interested in this extended reading where we start to dig into this now, stick around. I'm going to put a little preview at the end for you to get a taste of it. If you're into it, click the link below. That's going to take you to Patreon. Patreon is a community that I created for those of you who have been resonating with my work and you are looking forward to seeing the extended readings for the monthly shift readings every month. If that sounds like you, go check out Patreon, read the description there. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them for you, okay? So Sag, maybe I'll see you over on Patreon, but regardless, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you soon. Priestess has called you in 2019 to truly listen to yourself. It's time to listen to yourself now, Sagittarius. It's time to drop in to your own intuition, to your intuitive well. The priestess within you says, you must hear me now, and you must heed me. You know, not only am I asking you to listen, hear your intuition, I'm asking you to act on your intuition. Two very different things. Acting on your intuition is some next level shit. And I think that's what you've been asked to do in 2019. That's the sense that I'm getting. And now that it's, we're entering into 2020, it's like the veil is able to be pulled back. This pomegranate curtain, the veil of the underworld is able to now be pulled back, and so that the larger plan is slowly starting to be revealed.